Hello everyone, welcome back to Pharma Palette. Before we start, just take a moment and think about this. Your heart has already beaten thousands of times today. You did not remind it, you did not control it, but still it's continuously working perfectly. Every second, every minute, and every day. So, how does the heart know when to beat? The answer lies in its own electrical system. In today's video, we are not just going to memorize the definitions, we are going to understand how these electrical impulses are generated, how they travel through the heart, and how a single heartbeat is produced. So, once you understand this concept, topics like ECG, arrhythmias, antiarrhythmic drugs become much easier to learn. So, grab your notes and let's start the video. So, coming back to the introduction of this electrophysiology of the heart, first we need to know what is the cardiac electrophysiology. So, cardiac electrophysiology is a study that helps us to know how the electrical impulses are generated and conducted. And second thing is these electrical signals, they are helpful for controlling the heartbeat and also ensure that there is a proper pumping of the blood. Coming back to its importance, this will be helping us to understand the normal heart rhythm, to identify the conditions like arrhythmias, and this is also useful for the ECG interpretation, and this is also useful for selecting the appropriate treatment. So coming back to the next subtopic under this is the electrical conduction system of heart. So here we need to know the exact sequence of this cardiac conduction. So what is sequence of cardiac conduction? It is simply the electrical pathway. So what you will get to know from this flowchart, you'll be getting to know how these electrical impulses are traveling through the heart. So first thing is they will be starting from the SA node. From the SA node, they will be entering into the atrial muscles. From the atrial muscles, it enters into the AV node. From the AV node, it enters into the bundle of His. From there, it enters into the right and left bundle branches. From there, it enters into the Purkinje fibers, finally entering into the ventricles, which is the ventricular muscles. Now, how do you remember this flow? So, just remember like it will be starting at atria. It will be starting at atria, then it enters AV, His, branches, and then Purkinje. So start at atria. S means it is SA node. Atria means second one is atria. Then it enters into AV node. Then it enters into bundle of His. Then to the right and left bundle branches. Finally reaches the Purkinje fibers. Finally leading to ventricles. So just remember the mnemonic. Start at atria. AV His branches Purkinje. So till now we have seen the sequence of this conduction. Now we'll see what does this each node help to do. So initially the electrical impulses are present in the SA node. So what is this SA node called? It is simply the natural pacemaker. So this is usually located in the right atrium, and from here the impulses will be generated automatically, and this can also be useful for determining the heart rate. And the second one is AV, which is AV node. So in the AV node, this will be usually delaying the impulses, and also this AV node will be acting as a gatekeeper. That means it will be allowing the ventricles to fill with the blood before the contraction. Third one is the bundle of His. So what is bundle of His? It is simply it will be conducting the impulses from the atria to the ventricles. And the fourth one is bundle branches. So bundle branches means there are two. One is right bundle branch and the left bundle branches. So this will be useful for carrying the impulses down both sides, that is left and right, through the interventricular septum. And the fifth one is Purkinje fibers. So these Purkinje fibers will be spreading the impulses rapidly, that too throughout the ventricles, thereby causes coordinated ventricular contraction. So these are the exact functions of each node in the electrical conduction system. The resting membrane potential of the cardiac cells is minus 90 MV. So this will be maintained. And usually here we can see the movement of various ions. And those ions can be sodium, calcium or potassium. So all these three different ions will be creating the electrical activity. So depending on the movement of these ions, they have been divided into different phases, that to 5 different phases. Now let's discuss about each one in detail. So here we have all the 5 different phases: phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. So what happens in the phase 0? Simply in the phase 0 there will be sodium channel opening, and in the phase 1 there will be potassium channel opening, and in the second phase we will be having both potassium and the calcium channels will be opened, and in the third phase the potassium channels are opened, and the fourth one is simply the resting phase. Now let's try to see what exactly each phase is called and what happens in that phase. So coming back to the cardiac action potential, we have totally 5 different phases. In that the first phase is phase 0 is the rapid depolarization phase. Here the sodium channels will start to get opened. So more sodium will be entering into the cell, thereby making the membrane positive. And second one is phase 1. So phase 1 is called as initial repolarization phase. So here the sodium channels will be closed. Now the potassium channels will begin to open, thereby this potassium will be leaving the cell. In this phase 2, which is a plateau phase, the calcium channels will be opened. So the more calcium enters into the cell and the potassium channels are open, so more potassium will be leaving the cell. So potassium will be leaving out, calcium will be entering into the cell. So this will be creating the balance. So both movements are in balance with each other. So this condition will be responsible for the sustained contraction to occur, which is phase 3. So phase 3 is called as repolarization phase. So in the repolarization phase, the calcium channels will be closed. So the calcium stops entering into the cell. Now more potassium will be getting exited from the cell more rapidly. Thereby the whole membrane gets into the resting phase. So phase 4 is the resting phase. Simply the resting membrane potential will be achieved. So here the cell will be in the stable condition in the resting phase. So the SA node will be starting to depolarize, that too slowly, but this happens automatically. That's when the next heartbeat will be generated. So next one is the automaticity. Automaticity is simply the ability of the cardiac cells to generate the impulses without any external stimulation. So without any external stimulation, if the cardiac muscle is able to generate the impulses, that condition is called as automaticity. So automaticity can be highest for some nodes and lower for some nodes. So it is highest for the SA node. So that is the reason it is called as a primary pacemaker. And it is also like the nodes like AV node and Purkinje fibers, this automaticity will be lower. So with that, we have understood how the electrical impulses travel through the heart and how the different phases of cardiac action potential contribute to a normal heartbeat. But here is something interesting. We now know where the impulses start and how it travels. Yet we still haven't answered one important question. Why does the SA node generate impulses automatically? Why does the heart remain contracted continuously? And how do these electrical events appear on an ECG that clinicians use every day? So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, share it with your study partner and subscribe to Pharma Palette. See you all in the part 2. Thanks for watching.